Hey you guys, it's Ty and welcome back to this channel. So good evening, good morning, or good afternoon. Today is Saturday, April 2nd, 2022, and it's going on 1:40 p.m. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope you guys are having a safe weekend, evening, or afternoon, regardless of when you're watching this, as well as staying hydrated by drinking plenty of water. So that being said, for today's cooking video, we are going to make homemade deep fried chicken wings. So I will be showing you guys the ingredients, the steps, and the tools that I will be using, as well as with a side of roasted mashed potatoes and some corn on the cob. So if you're interested in these type of videos, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up by leaving a like. Make sure you're commenting down below, and most importantly, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So with that being said, we're gonna go straight into the kitchen and start this video. And make sure you guys are following me on my Instagram at Ty_Polk to stay up to date for more cooking videos or other vlogging videos.
Okay, you guys, so I'm currently in my kitchen, and as you guys can see, the island and the countertop is already prepped. This is something that I like to do to make cooking easier. So for today's video, we will be making deep fried chicken wings, sweet corn on the cob, with a side of roasted garlic buttered mashed potatoes. So as you guys can see, something that I like to do is prep everything from having the utensils, the ingredients, the food, as well as the pots and pans that we're going to be using. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by showing you guys what we're going to be using to cook our food with, and then follow up with the ingredients and utensils. So here we have some chicken wings, all natural, no artificial ingredient chicken wings. I got these from my grocery store. You can get any kind of wings. These are the only ones they have. I usually prefer flats, but you can get wings, thighs, drums, whatever type of chicken that you have. So there's our chicken. This is what we're going to be using. Next, we have our corn on the cob. So this is something that is very easy. This dish is very easy. The only thing that may take majority of your time is actually cooking the fried chicken, because everything else is already pre-made. And as I continue to make videos, once again, I will show you guys how to do things homemade. But as of right now, we're using what we have. So we have our store-bought items. Next, we have our golden select mashed potatoes that are buttered flavored, as well with our roasted red potatoes with garlic and butter sauce. So once again, this is already pre-made. Now for the chicken, I will show you guys the seasonings as well as what is also needed to fry it, as well as clean it. So here we have some milk and some sugar. This is going to be for our sweet corn. Okay, so we're gonna have some sugar and some milk. And then next we have our bowl. So this is what we're going to be cleaning our chicken with, and what I'm going to be showing you guys in a moment. We have some fresh lime and a cutting board. Don't mind my ashy hands, you guys. I've been washing my hands all day. This is what we're going to be cleaning our chicken with. So I have lime. We have some minced onion for our mashed potatoes. Then we have our hot sauce, Texas Pete. This is my favorite one. This is optional. You can use hot sauce if you prefer. Then we have sea salt and vinegar. So when it comes to cleaning our chicken, we want to use lime, lemon or lemon juice, as well as apple cider vinegar and sea salt, so your chicken can be saturated. Once again, this is optional. Most people like to use cold water and some salt, or you can use regular vinegar. So here we have our chicken, our corn, our mashed potatoes, our milk and sugar for our corn on the cob, some minced onion. And then we have our vinegar, our sea salt, our hot sauce, our lime, and this is a big bowl and our plate to use with to cook our chicken. Next, we have the fun part. We have our oven pan. This is what we're going to separate our chicken with and go ahead and season it on. You can use this or any form of dish that you have to clean your chicken with after you're done, ready to marinate and season. So we have our bowl right here. We have our teaspoon for our measurement, and we have a spoon right here in our bowl. This is what we're going to be putting our seasonings with. Now this is what I'm going to be seasoning my chicken with. The seasoning for your chicken can be optional, use what you have, but this is what I usually prefer. We have garlic powder, we have onion powder, we have some parsley flakes, kicking chicken. This stuff hits. If you know, you know. We have seasoning salt, okay? We have black pepper, we have oregano or oregano, depending on where you live, a little bit of paprika, and most importantly, we have yellow mustard. Now, usually I like to make buttermilk fried chicken, but because there wasn't any buttermilk fried chicken at the store, we're going to use mustard. And yes, this is going to make our chicken nice and crispy. I love me some crispy fried chicken. And once again, if these are too many seasonings, make sure you use the seasonings that you prefer to cook your chicken with. Then, of course, how we're going to be making our chicken. We need some pure vegetable oil. You can use any kind. I have Crisco and some all-purpose flour. So this is what you're going to be frying our chicken with. So some flour and some vegetable oil, and we have a stick of butter. I'm going to have some more. And then to serve our food with, we have our forks, knives, napkins, some salt and pepper on the side, and we have our plates. And this right here is our fork tester. I like to taste everything while I'm cooking. And then this is what we're going to be placing our food in. This is going to have for our corn on the cob, and in a moment I'll show you guys what I'm going to be putting the potatoes in and the chicken. So as you guys can see, this is what it's looking like. So these are part one and the first steps of the ingredients and the utensils that you'll need to cook your chicken and your sides.
Okay, so now we have what we're going to be frying our chicken with, cooking our potatoes, and our sweet corn. So over here we have our tongs and our knife for our chicken, and we're going to add some honey and our sweet corn. This is optional. You don't have to add honey or milk or sugar. You can make regular corn on the cob and boil it, or you can make it however you choose to. So this is our honey, our fried chicken tongs to pick up our chicken with, and our knife. So because I'm deep frying our chicken, this is what we're going to cook it in. This is going to be for our roasted mashed potatoes, and this is going to be for our corn on the cob. And then, of course, you guys already know I got the tunes playing. Trying to get my camera not to be so bright. There we go. So we got Janet Jackson, Anytime, Any Place playing. You guys know I like to cook with music. And then this is going to be just a wooden spoon we have here. This is for our mashed potatoes. And this is for our corn on the cob.
Okay, so first things first, before you do anything, make sure you guys wash your hands. I sped this part up because I'm just washing my hands. As you guys can see, on my right or to the side of me, I have my bowl with my sea salt, my vinegar, and my lime, and that's what we're going to be cooking our chicken with. So you're going to fill up the bowl with some water, add your lime, your sea salt, and your vinegar. Okay, so now we're going to add some cool water into the bowl. You can use a cup or you can use measurements. What I like to do is eyeball it because we're just adding the cool water just so the chicken can sit in something. And the purpose of cleaning your chicken is to remove any gunk, any of that gooey slime, clear stuff, as well as extra fat. So I'm going to go ahead, fill up the water. I'm going to fill up the bowl with water. So it was tilting a little bit because I had it on that thin piece between the kitchen sink. So now off camera, I already cut off my lime. So you're going to take your lime, or you can use lemons, or you can use actual lemon juice. This is optional. This is just something that I like to do to make sure that the chicken is clean, and like I said, it doesn't have anything extra that we don't want. So I cut up the pieces. You're going to add your lime into your bowl of cool water. As you guys can see, I'm putting the rest of the lime that I have, and I'm putting it back. You can use both limes, or you can use one or two, or you can use lemons or actual lemon juice, whatever you have. And I use a knife and a cutting board. So now I'm just rinsing off the knife and putting that to the side. So now we have our cool bowl with water and lime, and now we're going to add some apple cider vinegar, and we're going to add sea salt. Once again, I do not like to use salt when I cook any form of food, so if I use salt, I'm going to use sea salt. There you guys see I have the chicken, and this chicken that I got was kind of already prepared, so you don't have to do as much. But when it comes to cleaning chicken, you want to use a proper knife. I was trying to clean the chicken on the camera, and you guys, I struggled. So you want to use not a butter knife, you want to use a regular knife. Okay, so after all of the fat and the gooey stuff is removed, this is what your cutting board should look like. As you guys can see, we have our bowl with our limes and our chicken. So now we're just going to let that sit and marinate. And now we're going to add in some sea salt and some apple cider vinegar. When cooking, I do not like to use salt. So if you have to use salt, I would suggest and advise sea salt, Himalayan salt, or kosher salt. Next, we're going to add some apple cider vinegar. This is optional. Most people like to clean their chicken with actual lemons or lime juice. Whatever you have is fine. And I'm using apple cider vinegar. You can use any form of vinegar just to clean your chicken with. And you want to let this sit because you want to get all of the extra gooey, the fat, or anything from the extra residue from the chicken that you don't want. So therefore, when it's time to rinse it off and clean it off, your chicken will be clean. So as you guys can see, I'm taking the lime and I'm scrubbing it into the chicken. And this is just, like I said, one way to actually make sure that the chicken is clean. And I did have to go back and get another knife because the knife that I grabbed was a butter knife. So you want to use a thicker knife and a kitchen knife, or you can use cooking kitchen scissors. So I'm just speeding this part up so you guys can see. I'm rubbing the lime into the chicken, and not only does the lime and the salt add flavor, like I said, it just helps clean off the chicken. So I'm removing a little bit more of the fat that I do not want. And removing fat, take your time. I tried to do this on camera. It was a little bit difficult, but you can leave some skin on your chicken because that makes the chicken crispy. But for me, it's just the extra pieces that are like hanging off that I didn't want on there.
Once you clean your chicken off and it's nice and dry, it's time to season it. So as you guys can see, I have a separate pan here. I just put the chicken in, so therefore I can rinse the bowl and make sure it's clean, because we're going to put the seasoned chicken back into this bowl here. So before we season our chicken, something that I like to do is poke holes into the chicken. So therefore, when you're seasoning it, not only does the season stay on the outside, it goes inside. So you're just going to poke some holes into the chicken, and this gives the chicken lots of flavor. And of course, make sure you have the seasonings to your liking. I'll be showing you guys the type of seasonings that I use, but once again, we're just poking holes into the chicken. And the more holes you have, obviously, the more flavorful it is. I like to season everything, you guys. So when it comes to it, just put some holes into the chicken. And same thing, flip it over, poke some holes into the chicken. Flip it over, poke holes. And make sure you guys are being very careful. Flip it back. Same thing, flip the chicken over. Make sure you guys are being careful. Okay. And as you guys can see, I have 7 pieces of chicken that I'm going to be frying. Now, the best part, and to me what makes the chicken nice and flavorful and actually makes it taste good, is allowing it to sit overnight. So I'm not going to be frying the chicken today. If you have to fry the chicken, what I want to suggest and advise is that you let your chicken, after it's done being cleaned, and you season it, so let it sit to maybe 30 minutes to an hour. Because one, when you fry chicken and you fry it immediately, depending on how much flour you use, the flour comes off of the chicken, and we don't want the flour to come off the chicken when we make it. That's why I'm deep frying it. So when it comes to deep frying chicken, you want to make sure that you have your oil, your vegetable oil, whatever you're frying your chicken with, on a high heat. You want to make sure that it's already boiled. So therefore, when you drop in the chicken, the flour doesn't come off and the flavor stays. So I'm just poking holes really quickly into the chicken. Turn this over, and I'm going to go ahead and season it. So now, I did this off the camera, so this is what our seasoning is going to look like. I have minced onion, paprika, seasoned salt, garlic powder, black pepper, onion powder, oregano, and kicking chicken. And I'm going to add mustard because I do not have buttermilk and I like my chicken to be crispy. So you want to use a teaspoon of each measurement or to your liking. So now we're just going to go ahead, actually just stir it up real good. We're going to sprinkle some, it's not coming out, so just, sprinkle, okay, same thing. And I am about to use my hands and get really messy, so this is just, okay. I want our chicken to be nice and flavorful. Okay, so now we're going to make sure our chicken is nice and seasoned. We're going to rub it all in. Same thing. Rub it, make sure it's nice and seasoned. So now, add some black pepper. Okay. Before we add our mustard, we're just going to rub this in. Now we're going to do the same thing. So lightly, we're going to repeat the steps that we did and add our mustard. We're going to go ahead and season the back. My camera cut off, you guys, so I already seasoned it. So this is what it looks like, and I already added my mustard, like I said. So we're going to let this sit and shake it up. Okay. You don't have to add mustard. I usually like to make buttermilk fried chicken, but I didn't have any buttermilk to cook with, and I went to the store and they didn't have any. So this is what your chicken should look like. I'm just gonna grab a napkin because I already washed my hands already, but this is what the chicken should look like. So let's just rub it in. As you guys can see, it's nice and seasoned. Okay, I'm just gonna wash my hands again, I guess. This is what it should look like. And then when we add the flour, of course you can add some more seasoning, but this is what it should look like. Rub it in. So we're gonna let this sit overnight. The reason why I like to let my chicken sit overnight is because you want the seasonings to soak in and you want it to be moisturized. And not just that, when you cook chicken, because we're deep frying it, you don't want the flour to come off as soon as you put it in the batter. So this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. So we'll be back, and you want to let it sit to 8 to 24 hours. If not, if you want to make this in the same day, I suggest advise waking up early and trying to let it sit for 3 to 4 hours if you have to cook it in the same day. So let's go ahead. Put our lid on. We're gonna put this in our refrigerator, and I'll be back tomorrow to fry the chicken and cook the potatoes.
Guys, it's Ty. So the last scene we left on was us seasoning and using mustard to marinate our chicken. It has been over 8 to 24 hours, so we're going to continue to deep fry our chicken. So we're going to coat our chicken with some flour. We're going to go ahead and boil our sweet corn as well as cook our roasted mashed potatoes. So if you're interested in these videos, make sure you leave a big thumbs up. Make sure you're liking it. I just want to say thank you because I'm seeing people are watching it. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn your notification bell up too. And fun fact, you guys, I'm going to back up some so you guys can see. I used to work at Wendy's. I worked at a lot of places, as you guys may or may not know, like McDonald's, Wendy's. I worked as a server. So I actually have like silver diner suit as well as like, what is it called? Like, I guess a smaller apron. I worked at Fridays and Dave & Buster's. So now when I start cooking, you guys, I'm going to make sure I have my apron. So let's go ahead and get today's video. It is now April 3rd, 2022, and it's
so I let my chicken sit for 8 to 24 hours. This is what it's looking like. The reason why it's yellow is because I used mustard. Okay, so now we're gonna add our all-purpose flour, and with our flour we're gonna season it, and then we have our roasted mashed potatoes that we're gonna go ahead and defrost before we cook them. And with our sweet corn, we have some honey and some milk. Now of course you can just boil your corn and add whatever seasonings, but I'm making sweet corn, so I have a little bit of milk, honey, and then I have my minced onion for our potatoes. And this is what we're going to be cooking our food in afterwards. So this is going to be for our roasted mashed potatoes. This is going to be for our sweet corn. And this is where I'm going to put my chicken in. And then, of course, I have my plating. So this is what we're going to look like. So in just a second, I'm going to flip the camera, show you guys the pots and pans and how we coat our chicken. Now, of course, you don't have to let your chicken marinate, but I like to make sure that my chicken is nice and flavorful. And I do that by allowing it to sit overnight. And it smells really good.
I'm going to show you guys on how you want to go ahead and cook your chicken. You're going to get a piece. So this is what the chicken, let me find the camera. This is what the chicken looks like. Like I said, I seasoned it. It has mustard. That's why it's yellow. You're going to go ahead, get your flour here, throw it on top. And what I did was I let the chicken marinate from yesterday. And I let it sit 30 minutes to an hour because you don't want the chicken to be like super wet, but you want it to be moist enough that you see the flour just sticks onto it. So when we put it in the deep fryer, it stays on there. And you guys, I'm just doing this with one hand just to show you. Usually you want to get a bag if you can and like shake it all up. So, and you want to season your flour. So there, I'm going to put the camera up a little bit. I have some of the seasoning. So this is just what it looks like. And now I'm going to go ahead and turn on the stove. I'm going to get some oil and the water boiling. So this is what you want your chicken to look like. And because I put mustard on it, it's going to be nice and crispy. It doesn't have to be like super duper, you know, just enough. And I'm doing this with one hand, so yeah. Just so it can, you know, stick like this. Take excess flour.
Okay, so you're going to go ahead and add some more flour. So it should look like this. You guys see the oil. I have it boiling. I got marinated background. So this is for the corn. I'm still waiting for that to boil. And this is for the potatoes. I'm going to go ahead and pour the potatoes into here just like that. And then I'm going to show you guys the chicken in just a second. And make sure you got your tools clean. Right now we got it. I'm going to go how many minutes. So this is for our corn. We're going to put some honey, some milk, and butter. So make sure you get your spoons and everything prepared. So I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on, put the potatoes, and add the chicken. But you want to make sure that your chicken is nicely floured. Okay, so I just added the potatoes as well as the corn. So we're going to let them sit and boil. Then we're going to add milk, honey, butter, and sugar. And now we're going to add the chicken in. So you can be very careful. And you want to put like 2 or 3 at a time. You want to shake off any extra. Make sure it's nice and okay. It don't have to be perfect, but just enough to where it's like damp. Because you're going to shake it off when you drop it. Just pat it down a little bit. Like I said, it don't have to be extremely perfect. Okay. You don't want it to be like this piece. You don't have to be perfect. Because that's the purpose of the mustard, is to make it crispy. Okay, so let's just go ahead. long as it's enough to take. Very good. Watch them how they just started bubbling. And I'll get popped. And we're going to cook it each for like 5 minutes on both sides. So I'm going to do 2 at a time. Or 3. You can see how I went in there already. It's already turning. It's hot. This one's a little bit crispy, but that's okay. This is like super duper light, but I like my wings to be crispy. So that's sugar, honey, milk, and these are potatoes.
Okay, so this is what it looks like. I'm going to be ending off the video. I have my apron. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe. If you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you comment down below. Make sure you have your notification on. And stay tuned for further videos. I do apologize for the lighting, you guys. But this is our mustard fried chicken with our roasted mashed potatoes with onion, minced onion, salt and pepper, and our sugar corn with sugar, a little bit of pepper, and some honey. So until next time, you guys, bye.